What's up, everybody? We're back with the new edition of Digging Deep. We're going over the Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns main event at UFC 258 for the welterweight title. I'm joined by Sergio Pinheiro, Mike Bealby. I'm Joe Gravel. And yeah, guys, let's talk. Let's talk about this title fight. I'm super excited. I mean, this one's been a title fight that's been in the making for a little bit of time now. It couldn't happen at first, and now it's here. So how's it going, guys?
It's going good, man. I'm fired up. I can't wait to even look at these guys' stats. Like, they're pretty much identical across the board. So I can't wait to see this fight.
Hell yeah.
No, same for me. Oh, sorry about that. I'm very excited though. Like, right up there with that Conor Poirier fight last pay-per-view. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys.
Stylistically, I think this is one of the best fights we'll get all year. While some people, I think, may disagree or have some different opinions on this fight, this main event, I've read some. I totally disagree with any of that. I think it's stylistically a fantastic matchup. So, yeah, let's take a look at the tail of the tape. You got Kamaru Usman, the champion, looking to defend the belt for the third time. He's 17-1, 33 years old, 6 feet tall, 170 pounds with a 76-inch reach. Gilbert Burns, 19-3, 34 years old, 5'10", 170 pounds with a 71-inch reach. All right, guys, I'll start this one off. I'll talk about this. I'll break it down a little. So you got Usman. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's coming into this fight definitely looking to impose his will on Gilbert Burns. Burns, a 3-time world champion grappler, a World Cup gold medalist, extremely aggressive fighter, as we've seen since he's moved up to 170. Burns is going to try to stay on his horse. He's going to try to push the pace, I feel like, and show Usman that he knows from those 200-plus sparring rounds that he truthfully is the better fighter. That one of these men in this fight know they're better, and I think Gilbert Burns obviously truthfully believes he's the one. That being said, I think that Usman's path to victory is going to be up against the cage, trying to clinch Burns, get him up against the cage. He knows he's good off his back. He knows he's good in top position. He knows he's a good submission expert, and he knows his striking is probably up to par with Usman's. So therefore, I think Usman's best bet is to just get this fight up against the cage and do what he kind of did against Masvidal and, waste time and just wear on his opponent, wear on Burns, just throw shots, shoulder strikes, foot stomps, anything he can do. As for Burns, I think he needs to be the aggressor and try to keep the fight, with distance, keep his space and strike with Usman. You know what I mean? Try and, at any point in time, make the fight as aggressive as possible. If he's on his back or if he's on top, try to use submissions to, keep pushing his offense against Usman. That's just how I feel about this one. Sergio, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a lot of good points. I mean, this fight to me is going to be very similar to Colby fight, where the grappling is almost going to like nullify each other. You know what I mean? Like, Kamaru Usman's got great grappling, but if Gilbert Burns tries to attempt a takedown, he may hesitate on those grappling exchanges. So I feel like a lot of this is going to play out in the center of the cage. I think this is going to be very similar to that Colby fight, and I think this is going to be very entertaining, a lot more entertaining than a lot of Usman's fights. I don't think he's going to be able to use what he did against Masvidal. I don't think that's the path to victory here. I think Gilbert Burns has the ability to threaten him in ways that Jorge wasn't able to on the cage. That being said, he has spent a lot of time with Justin Gaethje, and I think that move there shows that he's ready to stand in the middle of the octagon and exchange. And I think this is going to play out on the feet. As for Gilbert Burns, he showed that he doesn't really care where the fight goes. He went to the ground with Damian Maia. He'll stay standing like he did with Tyron Woodley. It doesn't matter to him. And I think the key to victory for Usman is going to be find out early where you have the advantage and stick with it. For Burns, I think going to the ground. I think making things interesting and trying to get this to the mat would be his best bet. But who knows? I mean, we were completely wrong with the Poirier fight too. So it's very interesting for sure.
And that's a great point you brought up, Sergio, about the coaches. I just want to touch on that real quick. Gilbert Burns and Usman shared, a similar coach with Henry Hooft as their striking coach. Gilbert Burns stayed with them, and Kamaru Usman's been training with, like you said, Justin Gaethje and Trevor Whitman. So that's really interesting. Mike, how do you feel about this matchup, man?
Like I already said, I am so excited. You guys nailed it. Sergio's comparison to the Covington fight, I don't mean my comparison, and I don't mean it stylistically, but this reminds me of Gaethje versus Khabib, where Gaethje kind of had every tool on paper to get the win, and that's what made me so excited for the fight. I feel that exact way for Burns here. Like, I think his grappling skills can kind of negate Usman's wrestling prowess. And then if they're in the center of the octagon, this is anybody's fight, like truly. So like it's a sick fight.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So Burns, what's he on? He's on a 6-fight win streak since losing to Dan Hooker, Aubin Mercier, Mike Davis, Alexei Kunchenko, Gunnar Nelson, Damian Maia, and Tyrone Woodley. He's got 2 finishes in that 6-fight win streak. And then you look at Usman, I think it's a 15, 16-fight win streak, including RDA, Woodley, Covington, Masvidal. So, I mean, this is an epic matchup, guys. This is going to be great.
You touched on his record, Usman's record, and it's flawless. It reminds me a lot of Alexander Volkanovski, where they kind of fly under the radar. Like, people don't realize how dominant they've been and the names that they've been able to take out. I mean, he beat the crap out of Tyron Woodley for that title fight. That was probably one of the best title fights we've ever, or one of the most dominant title fights we've ever seen. And at that point in time, Tyron Woodley was considered almost the greatest welterweight of all time. Like, people were even having him in the conversation with George and Matt Hughes. So, Kamaru Usman's been absolutely dominant, and it's going to be interesting to see what someone who knows him inside and out is going to be able to do to him. And I think it's important to mention Vicente Luque said he's going to corner Gilbert Burns. Vicente Luque is close with both gentlemen, so it's very interesting to see that he's picking a side in this one. Henry Hoof, like you said, he's trying to stay out of it, and he's not going to be cornering either men, but it's interesting to see that Vicente Luque is taking a side in this.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's just such a crazy matchup when you think about it, because these guys have trained together for so long and they've sparred together and they have a relationship. Their kids have attended each other's birthday parties. You know what I mean? On the Embedded, you see Gilbert Burns asking his son, who he's fighting, and he knows exactly who, that it's time for daddy to go face Usman, the champion, and just everything riding on it. You know what I mean? It's so intriguing. It's so different than every other type of matchup we have, especially for title fights, where most people don't have this type of relationship going into it. And I think that's what obviously makes such a great storyline, and what's going to make the fight so competitive. I mean, they're almost like brothers who aren't brothers, but you guys know, like, when two brothers fight, it's just different. It's almost animalistic. I mean, I think that's what we're going to get out of them. Also, sometimes people like to talk about, I want to bring it up, Usman fights possibly, being boring. And I don't care what you say. You go back. I watch that Colby Covington fight all the time, and I think we're going to see that, just like you said, Mike, that if it's in the middle of the center of the octagon, it's anyone's game, man. And there's going to be a few fans in the arena, right? Is there at the Apex?
I think it's just going to be like the regular, like maybe 100. Yeah.
I'm used to Fight Island where they're getting some noise in there. But I mean, like, I'm just picturing, thousands of people who would be screaming up for the exchanges that are going to go down. It's going to be great. Any final thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I got one. It's just the best fights in the world are the ones where you have more questions than answers. And that is completely where I'm at with this one. I don't have many answers for you guys. I don't know what Kamaru's game plan is. I really don't. I don't know if he wants to, make it a striking battle, or if he wants to deal with Gilbert's jiu-jitsu. They're both bad options. And usually it's the challenger who has to kind of decide how they're going to approach it. And I think Gilbert might have more paths to victory here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. And what is interesting is a lot of people say this sport is like a chess match. Describe a more evenly matched chess match than this. Like, these guys know each other inside out and backwards. So, like, one person's going to move a pawn, and the other person's going to move that exact same pawn. So it's going to be whoever makes that one mistake is going to lose this fight, and it's going to be interesting. I don't think we see a finish though, because I just think anything that Gilbert Burns is going to try to do to Usman is going to expect, and vice versa. So I just expect five rounds of chaos, and I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. That's brilliant what you both said. It's a chess match, like you said, Sergio. And yeah, like you said, Mike, more questions than answers on this one. When you have more questions than answers, like you just can't predict what's going to happen. It's kind of shitty when you can kind of predict a fight. It's awesome when you have absolutely no idea. This one's completely up in the air, guys. This was great. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Joe Gravel. That's Sergio Pinheiro. That's Mike Bealby. This is fighterpath.com, and we'll see you guys later.